So things really aren't going the way that you thought they were for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, to the 34% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button, smash it so you guys don't miss out on more content. We're here to talk about the state of the game for the end of January, early February 2023. So market, how the game is going itself, so forth. So I guess we're going to start off with the Adidas Dark Magician. The Adidas Dark Magician has come through. They're like 400 plus on TCG Player. Secondary channels are pushing them for 200. To those of you that are like, Rami, where are you finding them for 200 now? You're lying to me. They're not $200. Facebook groups, the trading groups, people talking about these sorts of things. They exist. All right. You have to understand that there are other places on the internet that do in fact exist for finding things like this. So they do exist, and they are floating around for $200. I've actually seen a lot of copies out of the US, Belgium, Germany, UK have been flipping them for 200 USD each and not even cared. So to those of you like, oh, they're not this much on eBay. Yeah, okay. When I make these videos, I talk about what I see through the networks, secondary sellers. Whether or not you choose to believe me, it's up to you. But the collab was a pain in the butt. Nobody could get it. You can go on StockX.com, for shoes if you want to pick them up over there as well. I mean, it's okay. I understand paying $200 for an item that was $120 is going to rub people the wrong way, but that's just kind of the situation that you're in right now for collecting. So it was the big one. Now, Photon Hypernova, no ban list. Players are still fed up with tier format. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been draining. I am, however, very happy to know that we are getting a change in the game. And when I mean a game change here, I mean, well, unfortunately, you're going to enter into a very expensive format. It's actually very hilarious right now that the fact that if you want to play in the upcoming format, if you want to play something that's not named tier elements, you're going to be paying an arm and a leg for what is to come. The price point right now for Photon Hypernova is going to be some of the most expensive that you have ever seen in the game. Though I will say that if you bought cases for $700 or $660 on the very early up and up game, you won the lottery. Like, as long as you pull a Kashtira core minus unicorn and Fenrir and you pull 3 thrustings, I think you've made your money back. If you pull a Starlight, you're just plus. Now, with variants and things like that, you might not pull complete sets of these things, but the value for sealed on this set actually to be pulled out of it is looking way better than I've really seen. Konami hammered out 3 bangers back to back to back. Power of the Elements, Darkwing Blast, and now this. Things are looking pretty solid in my personal opinion. Now, as for the change in the metagame, I mean, you're really going to have just Tier sitting at the top, Kashtira kind of coming behind it, and then Sprite coming behind it. All right, like, that's kind of what we're expecting here, right? Like, in terms of all of your power scaling, that's really about it. Like, there's nothing really too much else to really say about that, but I think everything's kind of going the way that you really want it to at the end of the day. So that genuinely makes me very, very happy to kind of see. Now, I mean, also to, full disclaimer here, I do think that we are going to see the possibility here, and another shakeup on the metagame, that there is definitely a possibility for some sort of ban list to come here soon. I honestly don't think we're going to see a list until March at this rate. I want to actually be proven wrong about that again, but unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. I think with what we're looking at right here is a very big downside of things that, I don't know, man. I really want to see something happen to the course of the game, but we have to let Photon Hypernova run its course. All right, if Photon Hypernova does not run its course, you are going to see, well, a lot of people be massively disappointed, I mean, obviously, if you take Tier out of the equation and you shove, Kashtira into the best X level, I mean, everybody that just picked up all of the cores are going to feel very happy, because then, with no real competition, then removal deck just has to play against itself at the end of the day. So that's something else really big that I wanted to point out there was there is a lot of possibility at least in Photon Hypernova. Excuse me, Photon Hyper Expensive, as we're going to call it. And I mean, the way that the state of the game is, at least in that department, I mean, big metagame shift, big prices that you're going to have to fork out here in order to kind of keep up with all of this is definitely very interesting. So how is that? How is knowing that you're probably better off buying a case of Photon Hypernova if you've already got Unicorns and Fenrir's, and try to pick up, these cores to make sure that you are good to go? My only other real major concern is, if you waited too long, there's always going to be so many people that are going to comment on my videos and go, I waited so long and now I can't find, a good priced case for under X amount of money. And I mean, that's going to happen all the time, all right? Those that invest early on will always be rewarded. Like, that's how it goes. All right, unless, a set flops. But if you've kind of noticed here as of late with the way that these Yu-Gi-Oh sets are going, you do tend to see that there is one banger that, hammers out and does relatively well, and then, like 3 failures. But these core sets have been doing very good. I do want to talk about the state of the market for sealed product later on. So there's that. But for the rest of the singles market, I mean, things are going pretty much like you would expect. I feel like we're in a little bit of a downturn for some parts of this economy. I mean, recession worries aside, I'm not an economist. I'm just here to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I think are performing well in the metagame, or, point out a trend that happened in one tournament or something like that. But there are lots of cool things that are happening here. The OCG is experiencing one of the best metagames that I have ever actually had the chance to see. And I think that really also says something that, we can see such a nice dial back on potential power here, that it's definitely kind of shaking things up a little bit. Players can see hope down that, couple month gap here, and I think that's a good thing. Now, obviously, players are still fed up with the game. Photon Hypernova is just kind of a fresh coat of paint to, the ever-existing problems that kind of already were existing within the game. I get that, and I feel that at the end of the day. But, with a shake-up comes the chance to get things. The new Gravekeeper's inscription gives rogue decks a fighting chance. Or actually gives Kashira a fighting chance to actually push into the top contending deck. And it's one of the other things I mentioned about Photon Hypernova for the set being so expensive for what it actually is it's kind of crazy at the end of the day what people are expecting in terms of expected value. So yeah, card economy, it's all over the place right now, as it should be. People are going into sneak peeks and events. There's worry. I get that. There's worry that Tyr's going to get cratered off the face of the planet in the next couple weeks. I would love to see that. But some sort of diversity would be very welcome. Outside of that, besides the Adidas Dark Magician, Hypernova changing the game, Tyr still being, one of the projected best decks in the room. Overall, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is still strong as ever. The marketing brand, everything around it. I say this like every video, but there'll always be people that'll comment, be like, this is, Yu-Gi-Oh's ruined for... I mean, a change in the inception of saying that something is ruined, I mean, a change can be both good and positive on the game. I mean, the game today will not be the same tomorrow. There will always be some piece of knowledge, something that somebody will discover, something will go up in price. It will change. And that's why I like this game so much, is no matter how things go, no matter how we really expect things, there is always going to be some sort of difference or so forth within the meta, within the pricing of things. And that's what really makes Yu-Gi-Oh, the unique experience for how it is. I mean, we've already had a year of Master Duel, and, I always read countless comments from people like, Master Duel's so bad, like, I hate this game. It's fine. It's different Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I'd rather play Master Duel than sit through the entire torture that is the format, but... I mean, I'm just a simple runic player. If you want something done, go play FPS Simulator and do it yourself at the end of the day. So those are my real 2 cents on that. So what do you guys think about the state of the game for, well, second early half of 2023? Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, please. I love obviously getting feedback. It definitely helps keep me in line. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.